So this after the
Yeah, after we remove it overnight.
remove the you put it here overnight.
Yeah, I will explain.
Okay.
So after we remove it from the oven, we will keep it overnight under the microfluidic hood, and after that, when it's cool, it's completely cold, because if it is hot and you start to cut, it will break. I mean, the master mold will break. So that's the reason we have to do it in completely cold condition of the master mold. So for this reason, at first, so now I want to cut the our
Yes,
chip,
remove
structure,
remove the chip from the master mold.
the structure of our chip.
Okay.
So for this reason, we cut it from this side. Do not put much force on it, just by
Okay. Okay. This. Okay. Okay. This. So Ali is now cutting master mold with a blade. Is it the blade?
yes.
Ali, where is that blade? Okay. After you cut, can you show me where is the blade is you get from and the cut along number, something like that.
Yeah.
So can you explain how you remove it? That
We just cut it at first.
and you said put pressure.
You do not put too much pressure, otherwise the master mold immediately break.
And it has to be a pressure equilibrium, not one. Last time you said that it has to be a pressure. It has to be equal across the.
Yeah, it should be across the surface of the master mold.
It should
and
be.
it should not be too much pressure, otherwise it will break. Just very slowly, by more attention, because this is the most important part, otherwise the master mold break and everything gone. So for this reason you have to be very careful, very slowly, by high attention. Okay, after you cut by the blade, you go by this
You
blade.
use this. What is called? This is a
This is the this is also another blade.
type of blade.
Yes.
Okay.
For this one, you just very slowly see all your structure that you cut.
You just remove that.
Yeah, to remove the whole chip.
Okay, the corners. Okay.
But you should be very careful in this part.
In this
Do
part, not to touch the master mold.
not to cut the master mold.
Master mold,
Yeah, because if you cut the master mold, everything is gone. So then you cannot use it after that. Again, this part also should be very slowly. There should not be any pressure on the master mold when you cut by this type of blade. Okay, now another important part is removing our chip
The
structure.
chip from the master mold.
Yeah, the chip structure from the master mold. For this reason, you have to go by this approach. You have to just remove
Each corner.
corners.
So as you can see, Ali is carefully removing each corner. He is not trying to remove the entire chip at once, and he's pulling the chip by the corner. So this sounds to be a very delicate process. Here is the chip now. Ali has removed the chip. He's trying to clean the corners.
Okay, now after you remove the chip by the same blade, you just cut based on the structure that you can see. You should cut the structure.
And make sure you do not cut the
channels
or that.
Yeah, this step is easiest step. Just you need to cut. There is no specific
So you just have to make sure that you do not
cut.
cut the structure,
Yeah.
which is the drawing. On
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's very clear. This step is very easy, and there is no specific thing here. Okay, now we cut it.
Can you show Ali the structure? Is it the upper side or lower side, Ali?
This is the upper side.
Lower side. Can you show?
This is the bottom of the
Okay,
chip.
so
This is the upper.
as you can see here, we have that chip with the structure. Can you see that? Can you put another one? Chip with the structure. Can I see?
See, I think you too much zoom in that. Should zoom out.
Okay, I'll do this thing. Yeah, this shows the structure of the chip. Okay.
Okay, after that, we should cut, we should punch by those puncher. So
This puncher you bought from where?
this is it's available in the Fisher, and all catalog number, everything is in the in our supplier. It's here.
So this is the
Yeah.
thing you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the catalog number, and this is.
Your
from-
catalog number is there.
Okay.
That one is better. I mean, here
Okay.
you cannot see properly.
Okay.
Okay, now we want to punch. When you want to punch, three things is important. Your puncher should be vertical completely. It should be completely in the center of the hole. And the last thing is it should be completely aligned. It means all the hole that you have, it should be aligned to each other, specifically for a small size hole. So
Can
at-
you explain
at
there?
first-
There are two holes there, two types of holes there. in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
At first, we have two dimension for our hole in the PAA chip.
Mhm.
One of them, the bigger one, which we add the media and everything, it is 10 millimeter. It is 4 millimeter, the diameter,
Mhm.
and the diameter of the small hole is 1 millimeter.
Mhm.
For this reason, at first we started with the bigger hole. It means 4
Mhm.
millimeter, which is related to the media. For this hole, again, it should be very accurate, but you should pay more attention for the 1 millimeter
Smaller ones.
1 millimeter hole, because those 1 millimeter hole is responsible for the adding the cell and grow the cell on it.
So bigger holes are for what, Ali?
For the growth media, adding growth media and any drug, anything. So you should see the structure at first carefully. It should be completely vertical and it should be very fast. You should enter, you should remove, and
Yeah.
you should remove it. It should be very fast. If you do it this step slow, as you can see here,
Here, as you can see.
you can see this
hole is
punch
there.
is completely vertical. If you can see from the eye vision here is very important. If you can see from this side, you can see this punch is completely vertical and there is no tilting in that punch. If you see from the upper side, you can see the punch is completely on the center of the hole. So for another one, you have to do the same thing. You just look completely on that one. It should be completely vertical. Again, this step should be very fast, and removing also should be very fast. If you do it this step is slow, then the hole that you make has a little tilt, which is not good. So this step again should be very fast. You see, very fast. You punch it.
So this is
remove it.
Oh, okay. This plunger you use just to remove it, no?
Just to remove,
yeah,
yes.
okay.
The other thing is another two. Again, the same approach. Punch, cut, and remove.
Mhm.
Again, punch, remove, done. Okay, this is for the bigger hole. Now we are going to the smaller
Bigger hole, the hole for medium.
for me. Now we are going for the smaller hole, which is more important, and you should be more accurate. Three things again important. Always try to remember those three steps: alignment, vertical, and in the center of each hole. So for this reason, pay
So
attention.
This is a different type of puncher now you're using.
Yeah, this is 1 millimeter. So pay attention to my eye vision. This is very important. If you can see, if you started from the upper one, you may have some fault in your eye vision. So for this reason, you have to go from the horizontal way, and you should see your hole completely, and just punch very fast. Done.
Done.
It should be very fast this step, and all the
How many of small holes we have?
we have
Ali?
3 small holes in each side. It means 6 holes we have.
Good.
Again, you change the direction.
Change the direction. We are now making 3 other holes. Mhm. So Ali has
Okay,
made.
now we have the chip. So as I told you, 3 things is important. It should be in the center. It should be aligned. Even by naked eye, when you see all your hole is aligned, it means they are in the center and you are vertical. To make sure that they are vertical, you can see from this vision. As you can see, all the hole is completely vertical. There is no tilting on the hole, which shows that it is vertical. And as you can see, this part, they are completely aligned. By naked eye, even you can understand. So it means all in the center even. So this, now the chip is ready. Because we want to attach this chip for our PA chip, we want to attach this chip on the cover slip, we have to cut based on the size of cover slip. For this reason, we cut the chip in a way that do not cut any hole, anything.
So you make it smaller, you are
Yeah.
trying to say?
Yes.
So that it fits the cover slip.
Yeah, but you should not cut any reservoir, anything, and also you should not again, you should be very pay attention.
So this corner you just cut, make to look good.
This corner we cut it because for looking good, as well as the most important part is to make all the surface is in a homogeneous surface. There is no bumping on the surface of the chip. Okay, remember, always clean your area. This is also another important part. Do not keep it for another person to come and clean for you.
So now we're going to check these holes in
Now
microscope.
if you want, we can do this one, but after you master this thing, you don't need it. So now we should clean it after that. So for cleaning, we use those tape.
Okay, good.
At first, start with the upper side of the chip.
Okay.
As you can see, Dekasan, can you please? So, as you can see, this part is the upper side. Do not touch the structure. Just, you see, this is the upper
So
side. You can see.
How someone can understand this?
By when upper side, the
is
structure
the-
goes out, you can see easily by your neck, or you can see this is completely outside. And if you see, this is completely, it's very clear. I mean,
So this is okay. Can I say? Okay,
This is the upper side.
Upper side.
mhm.
Can I make it a little bigger?
And this is the bottom side.
Bottom side. Okay. Bottom side looks very cleaner.
Yeah, that's my point, because there is nothing there. That's the
Okay.
reason.
Okay.
Okay, now we want to clean the structure. For cleaning the structure, start from the surface. At first, top, without any force, just
Put that
Rubbing your-
adhesive tape.
yeah, just rubbing your hand without any force. Without any force. If you put force, it's not good for your chip structure. Without any force, just rubbing your hand, your finger on it, very slowly. There is no pressure, no force at all. If you put much force in this step, when you want to attach, the chip did not attach to the cover slip. So this step should be very slowly and should be very smoothly. You have to rub. And for the back side, even back side, you don't need it, but in case.
So we are doing using always. How many times you do with the adhesive tape?
Okay, this one, you see, I clean it now.
Once.
I see the structure, there is no particle, nothing. The most important one, when you are doing the cleaning, now I'm talking because I want to explain, but when you are cleaning, it means you want to prevent any particle. But when you talk, your particle from your mouth goes on the surface of the chip. So when you are doing this thing, do not talk at all with anyone, anything. Whatever happen, just put it later. Just pay attention to this one and clean in a way that there is no particle goes on the surface.
So
of
that
the
means
chip.
you are suggesting not to talk
At all.
No.
At all.
Not to
And
take
always
phone
put it
or-
under
yeah.
the hood.
Oh,
Not-
always under the hood. Okay.
Okay. Okay, now again I will clean, and this time I will not talk because I want to attach this chip.
Ali, are we going to do see this thing in microscope now?
No, like I said. So again I will, because now
So,
again,
but last time when you showed me,
no, because this is for just practice, for just to make sure that this is.
no, that if someone want to make sure that
Yeah,
it
but this
is
one
in the-
doesn't have any faulty. We have faulty chips.
Okay, so okay,
that's
okay,
one.
that's fine.
Okay, again I will clean it again.
So at least, okay.
So I will. Okay, always mark the back of the chip to make sure. After you put the tape, it means there is no particle can go inside. After you mark the chip on the back, so you know that what is the back, so you don't need to touch anything after you. Okay. Now we are going to the next step. After we prepare the chip, based on your chip design, we have different type of the sterilization of the chip. Either by you can do it on the autoclave, or you can do it under the UV. It depends on the technique that you want to use, which we will explain this sterilization part.
So, okay, after making the chip, you sterilize the chip.
You have to sterilize the chip, yes.
Okay.
So, but for this time, just I want to show you how to attach the chip to the using the plasma.
So, in regular, if you are doing for cell culture, seeding cells, you can do sterilization by autoclaving or putting in the
UV.
UV.
Normally we do it now. We optimize everything to do both. I mean, autoclave and then UV to make sure there is no.
Do you want to explain how you do?
But I have to show
UV?
this thing. I mean, next.
Later? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to go up a step. Sure. Okay. So now we are going to, after we assume that okay, now we sterilize our chip and our cover sleeve. So we want to attach the chip.
So you sterilize both cover sleeve and the chip. Okay.
Again, in this step, you should not talk at all because any talk affects on your cover sleeve, and if any particle is there, again the chip will not attach. Make it particle free by this one. Okay. Now, at first, open the door of the plasma cleaner.
Do you want to explain what is plasma cleaner? Okay.
Okay. So you put the cover slip in the plasma cleaner at first.
You put the cover in the plasma cleaner inside the drum of the plasma
Yes.
cleaner. Yeah.
Now I'm going to open the structure of the chip. Again, I shouldn't talk at all about in this step.
So you put the.
Make sure to put the cover slip and the PDMS chip in different side. They should not be on top of each other. Okay. What is plasma cleaner? Plasma cleaner make the plasma condition. It means plasma condition. It means by using the air, it change the molecule on the air, such as nitrogen, oxygen, to the negative oxygen, negative nitrogen, or something like that. And those negative ion goes on the surface of the structure. I mean the PDMS structure and the your cover sleeve. And when you want to attach these two together, since both of them has the ionic
so this ionize the surfaces of both
Yes.
PDMS slab and.
Yes. Since both sides has ionized molecule, these molecules can interact with each other, contact with each other, and then they attach to each other. So how to use the plasma cleaner? For using the plasma cleaner.
Okay, Ali, can I ask you some question?
Yes.
When you put inside, do you put just directly on the drum, or I have seen in some places they put adhesive tape. How do you put?
No, we did not put.
You just directly.
You just put it directly there.
And then which surface of the
upper
chip.
surface of the chip should be in the upper.
where it has the
Yes.
channels?
Yes.
And then for the slides, for the glass, it is any side could be
Yes.
this. So, but okay.
Now how to use? As you can see here, there is arrow here in this knob of the plasma cleaner. When we are going to start, okay, this pump make vacuum inside the plasma cleaner. So for this reason, at first we put this knob vertical.
Vertical means closed or
It's semi-closed, half open. So we put it closed. At first, if you use this machine in a wrong direction, I mean wrong direction means whatever you are doing except whatever I'm telling now, the machine immediately break out and they will not work after that. So very careful when you use this machine. This is around 20K and the pump is around 10K, so total machine is 30K.
it's a 1 month of salary of a graduate
Yeah,
student.
1 year.
of salary.
So just very careful when you use the machine. At first okay. Another important thing before using, do not change the position of the plasma.
I mean that it has to be always in a balanced state.
Yes. Because I already balanced this plasma cleaner based on the condition that you will see now. So if you change the position, this condition also change, the pressure change, and everything change. So do not change the position
So
of the
that's what you are trying to say. The tilting or that if just changes the
everything. Just if you put it like this, if you just push a little also, it affects, and
The pressure,
you will
okay.
not reach to that pressure. Okay? So very slowly, again, do not push, just rub your hand on the
just place your hand on the
door,
door.
but
Okay.
try to rub. Do not
Okay.
push, just rub.
Mm-hmm.
At first, start the power button,
Mm-hmm.
5 second wait. Then start the pump.
Mm-hmm.
If you do without touch, you will hear a pump sound by
Big
the
sound,
pump,
okay.
which is not good for the pump and your 14. Okay, as you can see here, there is no sound. The door is closed. You can see the door is closed. When you make sure, when the vacuum create, it means when the door closes, it means vacuum create inside. Then you close the system by turning this arrow should be in this side now. It means there is no air can come from this side. It means the system has
is
the vacuum.
closed.
So when you close this knob, then the pressure which the unit is millitore increase. For each chip, the timing that you need to put in the plasma cleaner and the pressure is different. For the period chip, again, I emphasize in this point, for each chip is different. For the period chip, when we reach to the around 650 to 660 millitore pressure, for 2 minutes, we put in the high condition, and then we start plasma cleaning on the surface of our chip. And
So again, what is that pressure you said?
this pressure, for example, now it is 6. So we should wait until it's stable in a specific pressure. When it goes to the 650, 660, it means we reach to that pressure. As you can see now, we are in 660. It is fine now. You can start now. We will start.
It is for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, again, you see the color is changed. It means violet. This violet color, it means it's start plasma cleaning. This is the one sign that you can make sure that, okay, the machine is working now. The pressure is go above 660, 650. It is right. It means too much pressure is not good again, because too much pressure means too much plasma cleaning. It means too much hydrophilic surface, which cause your cover slip and your chip do not attach to each other. Okay. After I remove it, I couldn't explain to you. Now I explain to you. When these 2 minutes is finished, you should very slow for this type of the chip. You should very slowly open this knob to release the air, and immediately, this process should be very fast. Now you will see how I'm doing. This process should be very fast. But surely when you start at the beginning, you are slow. You cannot prevent this slowing. But after some time, after practice more and more, you will be fast. So immediately you very slowly, you see what I said. This process should be fast, accurate, slow. Fastly you open, slowly you release the air. Fast open, slow release the air. Fast open the door and attach the structure that I will show you in
Okay, Ali,
30
the
seconds.
pressure, how to adjust, are you going to say or later? The pressure, it needs to be adjusted.
Yeah. This is another step. I mean, for the machine, I have to release everything,
So
because now already
this pressure you put for plasma cleaner, it is specific for chip.
for this chip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also in this plasma cleaner, there are 3 steps to turn off. First power, pump, and then.
And when another moment, when you want to turn off, at first you should turn off pump and then power. If you turn off the power and then pump, the machine again will go.
Okay, so here in first you turn on the power, pump, and then.
Okay, now it's done.
Okay.
After it's done, at first you turn off this one, turn off the pump, turn off the power. Again, it should be very fast. You should wait now. They release the air.
So you put this vertical, not vertical way, just.
Just a little bit tilt so that they release the air.
Okay.
You see, slowly those bottom is coming down. It means that air is slowly released.
So you don't want very fast release.
If you release the air fast, the cover slip inside is change the direction.
Okay,
and
so
we
it
don't
just it will
understand.
just put me upside down.
Yes.
Okay. So this sound is telling what?
Release the air.
The air is
Yes.
a vacuum.
Yeah. Again, in this step, you should not talk at all because it creates particle and your chip is gone. Then.
I was taking out the Sutil explain this.
Okay. After that, you remove the chip. Immediately, the way that you saw they attach the chip, you should not let any air bubble goes inside the chip, because if any air bubble goes between your cover slip and chip, then they will not attach at all. So how you can understand, when you see in this one, there is no bubble under this chip. You can easily by naked eye you can see. I will show you when there is bubble inside the chip how it look like. So at first by the zigzag by your finger without touching the surface of the chip. If you touch the structure on the chip, all the
It has to
structure
be in the code.
all the structure attached to the cover slip, and there is no height between your chip and the cover slip in the channel. So it means when you put the media inside the channel, the media will not pass. Again, I will say, if you put it too much pressure, or if you put your finger when you want to attach on the surface of the chip, surface means on the channel of the chip, then the channel attached to the cover slip, when channel attached to the cover slip, when you add the media will not pass through the
So
channel.
the pressure should be applied only by the corners.
By
or
the
sides,
corner and
or side.
smoothly.
Smoothly.
And
Okay.
when you do zigzag, your zigzag should be like this, in all four directions.
Okay, all four direction. Not in the on the body of the
At
main
all.
body of the.
At all. Then you use the on the bottom of your blade very smoothly. Again on the just corners. Okay. Now another after this tapping, we go to the rolling step. In the rolling step, by the same blade, you just roll without any push. Even single force, if you put it now, the structure again will be gone. Without any force. Just smoothly,
Okay.
you just rolling.
It's just a tortilla.
Do not push any force. Again, do not push any force. Put it in your brain that do not push any force here.
force.
If you put any force, the structure will be gone and they will not work well. So, to make sure that it's almost attached now, but just to make sure that it's completely attached, as you can see here, there is no bubble under the area. So to make sure that it's completely attached, we put another 1 minute inside the chip again, inside the plasma cleaner again.
Okay.
In the same condition, again at first start power.
Alright.
After 5 seconds, we start the pump. When you are make sure that it's closed, then close the system. This time you just put it for 1 minute.
So when you say Ali, 1 minute, 1 minute when you put the plasma,
1 minute in the plasma condition. Yes.
plasma condition.
Okay, it's almost now 670 is fine. Then you start it.
So here it has turned the knob, the plasma knob to high. So this power of the upper part of the plasma cleaner you turn on.
It's always on.
It's always on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's always on.
If you go, for example, for a trip and you make sure that nobody is using the,
You just turn it off.
you turn off everything. Yes.
Okay, Ali. Last time you explained that how to that you have to be very fast taking out this
Yeah,
thing.
the same thing that you saw. That
Yeah, and
now.
also you said
Okay, give me 4 seconds to finish.
yeah. So you have to be careful to.
So after this one will finish, again you put it, turn it off, pump is off, power is off. Again smoothly you just. This time you see I release the air faster. Why?
Faster then.
Because
They are together.
they are attached to each other. You don't need to be careful about the cover slip because cover slip they are already attached. The same approach that we did last time. This time also you will do the same approach. At first you put your finger.
In fact, this plasma conditioning is a two-step process. First, you do it
For this chip.
For this chip.
For this chip.
uh,
For every
first-
chip is different.
Okay. The first
should
you do
optimize
it
based-
separately,
Yeah.
and then you when after attachment you have to do it again.
Yeah. Okay. As you can see here, there is no bubble under the chip. There is no bubble at all on the between the cover
Between
slip
the
and
cover
the chip.
slip and the chip.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how you will see? I will just show you one chip that has that problem. If you attach the chip
Mhm.
to the cover slip, but they will not attach to each other. How it looks like? You see, for example, this is the surface of the chip,
Mhm.
and this is your cover slip. For example, when you attach these two together, if you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, it creates some bubble.
Yeah, it is like we have said, it is like cell phone.
Exactly.
Call.
Exactly. Those
Glass
bubble,
cover.
yeah. When those bubbles create, for example, now you can see there is some bubbles create. When those bubbles create, it means there is air between the cover slip and your chip. And when there is air between them, just a small amount of the air cause other air from the gas also goes under between the surface, and it will detach from each other. Okay. For this reason, you have to make sure that it's completely attached. So after you attach completely, you can just
You check it.
you check it by your hand.
Not not.
Yeah,
push.
because if you push it too much, this
It is gonna
your
break.
cover slip break. So just to make sure, you see easily you can see. But when there is no air on there, you are 100% they attach to each other. So after this step, you do it for 5 minutes under the vacuum. Why we do it 5 minutes under the vacuum? Because there is no air between the chip and the cover slip now. But to make 100% sure that there is no air at all between this the cover slip and the chip, we put it 5 minutes in the vacuum.
So this vacuum, how do you attach with this with another adhesive tape?
No. You should not put any adhesive tape there, because if there
But
is
it is just directly on the
yeah on the just
on the tissue of the.
yeah just put down 2 to 5 minutes so that it's gone.
Okay, Ali, number of questions. So someone, for example, he had made cut and punched. So can they then store the chip for a few days and then do the plasma attachment later?
Yeah, you can store the chip that you prepare, for example, the chip without attachment for a longer time, but you cannot keep the chip attached to the cover slip for long time outside. Why? Our experience, there is no scientific base behind it, but our experience shows that when we keep the chip for a long time outside, when we want to use it, they always show leakage. So it means that there is air after some time. The air goes inside. We don't know why, but the air goes inside and easily they will.
But
detach
with,
from each other.
before attachment, you can keep
it.
them.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
keep
okay.
it outside for a long time. It doesn't matter.
Oh, so one can potentially make lot of chip
Yeah.
and then attach one day, no?
Yes, but again, when you want to attach, you should do one by one chip. You should not do it, for example, put 2-3 chip inside with the cover slip and then do it. This is wrong again. Put when you want to put the chip inside the plasma cleaner, you should do it one by one. It means the same process that you see I do, you should do it one by one in the plasma cleaner.
Within the drum of the plasma cleaner, as you said, that if you put lot of, if you do quickly, to the slide and the chip may move out of this.
If you release for the first time,
Yeah.
when you release the air very fast, the cover slip goes on the top of.
Okay, but in some books or somewhere I've seen that the people attach the slide, cover slip, and that with an adhesive tape, double-sided adhesive tape, so that it doesn't happen. Have you done this thing?
We can do this thing, but the problem of adhesive tape, when you use adhesive tape, it affects on the
surface of the drum?
Yeah, when I ask the companies do not suggest to do this thing. Do not to put anything else inside the chip. I mean, any adhesive, anything, because it affects the structure of this one, the structure of the.
Okay, and then can you explain how you adjust the pressure?
Yeah, for adjusting the pressure, again, this is the long process. There is two knob there is two hole. These two hole, the air goes inside the machine. Whatever pressure that you need, it should be balanced. After that, the air from this two hole goes inside the machine, and when you started the vacuum and the technical thing that inside the machine cause creating the nitrogen and oxygen radical on the inside of the machine, and you put it in the 3 low, medium, high based on again the
Based on
power
the
that
chip.
you need based on the chip. For example, in one chip, when you want to attach, for example, to the PDMS, you need go to the medium. You shouldn't go to high, because high means high amount of the ionization happen. So for this reason, you should pay attention to this thing also.
These two knobs are for adjusting.
Yeah, this is for adjusting the. This is for adjusting the
Pressure.
Based on whatever you want.
Meters.
But for this one, you should read the manual completely, because.
Can I see the manual?
Yeah, the manual, the PDF version we have. I think it's.
Okay. Okay, so, I see. So now you are
Now it is in
double
the vacuum. Yeah, it is in the vacuum
vacuum,
to make sure there is all the air gone. So still 1 minute remain. After this step, now both side has hydrophilic ionized. I mean your chip structure and the cover slip has ionic structure. So since your media is hydrophile, if this is also hydrophile, the media cannot move through the channel. So for this reason, we need to increase the hydrophobicity of our chip.
Okay.
Of our chip. So for this reason, we put it on the oven, 65 degree. In this type of the chip, we put it for 2 hours to 4 hours in the 65 degrees centigrade oven. To increase
the hydrophobicity. So this is the, this is the manual for plasma cleaner, which we bought from Herrick Plasma. It is available online too. Is it true, Ali?
Yes.
Okay. So after this, what you are saying now, this chip, attached chip, will have a hydrophilic surface,
Yes.
both in the channel and also in the cover slip.
Yes.
For this reason, you have to put them in oven, this same oven, 65 degree for 2 hours.
2 to 4 hours.
2 to 4 hours, depending on the chip, or
Normally we put it 2.5 hours, but if you sometimes it will not work, you should based on the condition. So you should optimize based on your current condition, because the temperature. I mean, a lot of things affect on the affect on this timing. Okay. Now we have a chip that you can see there is no bubble under the chip. It's completely attached, and make sure this 100% attached the chip. And another thing which is important, I know this is you should pay attention, that all the reservoir and channels and everything should be on the cover slip. It should not be one of the channels outside the cover slip.
So all the reservoir.
All the reservoir channel should be on the cover slip. It should not be one reservoir outside the cover slip because we
Okay,
want to
then
add this.
it's done then.
Yes. So now we are going to the next step, as I told you, to increase the hydrophobicity after you prepare the chip. You put it in the 65-degree oven. Again, this oven, when you want to use, do not push, do not change anything, do not change the temperature because we already set for 65 degrees. We put a thermometer inside the this oven to make sure that the temperature is 65. And then to one of them, we just keep the chip like this.
Oh, chip like this on that
And we keep
petri
it
dish. You
in
just
the
put in
petri-
this slanted position.
Yeah. And then that's
Is there
it.
any reason why you put
No,
in
there is
slanted? No. Then you keep it.
Then we keep it, that's it.
Okay, so now depending on the hydrophobicity, then after the chip, can you explain that when the chip should be used? For example, if Ocean makes 100 chips, and can she use for a month or?
No, I told you, after this chip preparation, immediately you have to use it. You cannot wait, keep those chips for a long time and after, for example, 2 months you use it.
No, immediately, when you say immediately, you know that it maybe
after
next
you-
day?
Next day, in 2-3 days you have to use it. Otherwise,
Okay, it cannot be, it cannot stay because
it's not
going
good.
to increase the hydrophobicity more.
And also it causes detachment of the PDMS chip and the cover slip from each
Okay.
other. Yeah.
So are we then done for at least chip fabrication?
Yeah, chip fabrication we are done. This is the whole
So
process.
the next time you
After this step, after that 2 and 2.5 hour finish, we keep it outside the chip and it's ready for we cool it down, and after that it's ready for the PDL coating, which Hussam will show you.
okay, so then after you put it there in that clean this hood.
Yeah, you can do in any hood that you want.
Okay. So then after that we will do the PDN chloride. So one day, for example, I know that previous we don't do now leak test. So how you are doing leak test?
Leak test, you just use those.
Syringe or what?
No, there is no syringe. Just this is the 3-pound blue.
Mm-hmm.
Using this 3-pound blue, you use the pipette
Pipette.
and just
See.
Yeah, just
Okay. So one day we'll
No,
try.
even now we don't need it. The reason is when we do the PDL coating. In the PDL coating, we add media, and there also we can see that is there a leak or not.
Okay.
Because we add the media, it's the same. Instead of 3-pound blue, just colorful. Those media
But
has
you can
low
still
color.
see.
Yeah, you can see. You can see that there is
Okay.
leak.
So
or
then one day I would like to see that with the trip and blue.
yeah.
Okay. So now what is the plan, Ali? We're
Now
done.
We're done. We're going for the master mode.
Master mode. Okay, good.